Hello and welcome. Today we are diving into a journey of faith that millions of people make every single year, the Vaishno Devi Yatra. So if you're thinking about making this sacred pilgrimage in 2025, you are in the right place. We've put together all the essential info, both practical and spiritual, to help you get ready.
You know, this quote really just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures what the journey to Vaishno Devi is all about. It's a powerful reminder that, for so many people, this is way more than just a trip. It's a deeply spiritual experience, a true beacon of faith.
And that really brings us to the big question we're going to tackle. I mean, with millions of devotees visiting every year, how can you possibly plan a trip that's both seamless and, fulfilling? Well, let's break it all down.
Okay, first things first, let's get our bearings. The shrine itself is nestled way up in the Trikuta Mountains at a pretty impressive 5,200 feet. The whole pilgrimage kicks off from a base town called Katra, and from there it's a challenging but incredibly rewarding 12-kilometer trek up to the holy cave.
So how do you actually make this journey up the mountain? Well, while the traditional trek is a beautiful act of devotion for so many, modern services have made the pilgrimage a lot more accessible. So let's start with probably the most popular of these, the helicopter service.
One of the first questions on everybody's mind is, of course, the cost. So for the helicopter service, a round-trip ticket per person has recently been sitting right around 4,420 rupees.
And you actually have some flexibility here. You can book a one-way ticket for just a little over 2,000 rupees, or you can go for the full round trip. Now, it's really important to remember these are the 2024 prices. They're a great baseline for you to start budgeting for 2025, but you should always confirm on the official website before you book. Okay, so how do you lock in a spot? The process is actually pretty straightforward, and it's all handled online, which helps manage the huge demand. You just visit the official Shrine Board website, pick your dates, pay online, and boom, you get an e-ticket. But the most crucial step is on you. You absolutely have to remember to bring that ticket and a matching photo ID. They are super strict about checking them before you can board.
But, of course, the helicopter isn't the only way to get there. The real beauty of this pilgrimage is how inclusive it is. There are paths for every level of physical ability and, for every devotional preference. So let's explore some of the other options that are available.
Your journey is truly your choice. You can take that traditional 12-kilometer trek on foot, you can opt for the helicopter, or you can use services like a palki, which is basically a palanquin carried by 4 people, or even a pony for those really steep sections. There are even battery-operated vehicles on certain parts of the path to give pilgrims a hand.
The two main approaches really offer completely different experiences. The trek is this profound, physically demanding act of faith that takes several hours. In total contrast, the helicopter gives you speed and comfort, leaving just a pretty manageable 2.5-kilometer walk to the shrine. It's a fantastic option for the elderly, for families with young children, or really for anyone with physical limitations.
All right, now that you know your options, let's go over some essential tips for the journey. Honestly, a little bit of preparation goes a long way in making sure your yatra is a smooth and peaceful experience.
This checklist pretty much covers the absolute must-dos. First, plan way ahead. Those service slots can fill up months in advance, especially during peak seasons. Also, be honest with yourself about your physical health. The altitude and the exertion can be a real challenge. And the mountain weather, totally unpredictable. Packing layers is an absolute must. And finally, the simplest but maybe most vital tip, stay hydrated. Dehydration can sneak up on you fast at 5,200 feet and can really derail your whole experience.
After all the planning and the physical journey, we really get to the very heart of the yatra, the spiritual fulfillment. This is the why. This is what draws millions and millions of people here year after year.
This quote, it just says it all. What we find is that no matter which path they took to get there, pilgrims consistently talk about this profound sense of inner peace. It's like all the challenges of the journey just melt away, and they're replaced by the immense spiritual energy of the shrine.
So, with all these new services and a really clear path for planning, this journey is more accessible than it has ever been. Which leaves us with just one final thought, a question for you to think about. Is 2025 the year that you answer the call to embark on this sacred journey?